Thank you, Torsten, for introductions. Much appreciated. It's always a pleasure working with Acumatica Asia. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Today we'll be talking about how to comply with quality management standards in pharma, healthcare, and medical device industry digitally in QDMS and Acumatica ERP system. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I am the Managing Director of Bimser International. And today I'll be sharing some information with you before I introduce my colleagues and talk about the subject matter. First of all, we have a YouTube channel. We'd like to invite you to visit our YouTube channel, Bimser International YouTube channel. And when you click playlist, you'll find the playlist of our webinar recordings from previous weeks. It is available for your watch and for your sharing with your team members. Every Monday, we organize quality webinar series, and we talk about different parts of quality management systems as well as compliance requirements in digital environment. So we record these Monday quality webinar series, and then we basically make it available on our YouTube channel. So you are definitely more than welcome to visit and watch our webinar recordings anytime you like. Also, I'd like to give you information about our coming Quality webinar series. This webinar today is for Acumatica Asia. So based on Asia time zone, we are performing today's webinar. Normally on Mondays, we organize our webinars based on Eastern time zone in North America. So you may not join live webinar sessions. However, as I mentioned earlier, you can always go to our YouTube channel and watch our webinar recordings. Even though you cannot join us live, you can definitely watch our webinar recordings to learn more about quality management systems and how to comply in digital environment with QDMS and Acumatica. Having said that, we have June's webinar plan is ready. We have on June 8th, how to comply with BRC standards for food industry. On June 15th, we'll be talking about how to manage customer complaints digitally with QDMS and Acumatica together. On June 22nd, we'll be talking about how to perform waste management for compliance purposes with QDMS and Acumatica. And on June 29th, we'll be talking about how to manage suppliers, supplier audits and evaluations in a digital environment with QDMS and Acumatica. And we invite you, we encourage you to register our webinars on Eventbrite if the timing works for you. Today, we have our colleagues. We have a panel for you. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Kevin Devecioglu. I'm the Managing Director of Bimser International. Today, with me, there is Sam Watt. He's our pre-sales software engineer from our engineering team. And also we invited our product manager, QDMS product manager, Furkan. He's also with us for Q&A session. So he'll be helping us addressing some of the questions that we may get from your side. I'd like to also remind you that I have our contact information on the screen. So if you'd like to contact us directly, please feel free to send us an email, and we'll be happy to address your questions. We'll be happy to have one-to-one meetings and basically dig deeper in the world of quality management digitally with you. Please, anytime you like, we can contact us, and then we can talk about the subject matter at your convenience. Okay, so I'll be starting with certain introductions about our company, our products, and our relationship with Acumatica ecosystem, and then I'll jump into the digital transformation of quality management, and then I'll hand it over to my colleagues in order. Great. So I'd like to share that we were one of the sponsors for Acumatica Asia Partner Conference in March. Luckily, we had a chance to sponsor this conference before COVID-19 crisis, so we're really happy about sponsoring and being a part of this important organization. It's always a pleasure working with Acumatica ecosystem and Acumatica partners and management as always. And also, as you see on the screen, we are very active in Acumatica ecosystem in North America, in Asia, as I mentioned earlier, as well as in South Africa. We sponsor the events, Acumatica summits, Acumatica meetings, and we are looking forward to furthering this relationship that we have in Acumatica ecosystem, and we are very excited for this partnership. At the moment, we have 3 products available in Acumatica Marketplace as a certified solution. We have QDMS as quality management software. We'll talk more about today. We also have asset maintenance, facility, fleet, and energy management software called Beam. That's also available in Acumatica Marketplace. And finally, we have IBA Contract Manager solution for Acumatica, and that is for companies to manage their contracts, their documents in a digital environment. That's also a certified Acumatica solution, and that's also available. Great. So let me introduce our company to you. As Bimser International, we are based in New York. We are an enterprise software maker since 1998. In essence, as you see on the screen, we are actually, our mission is to help companies simplify their processes, and we help companies adopt digital transformation. So as a company, we are designed to help companies digitize their business processes, automate them, and help companies adopt digital transformation regardless of their industry. We are very active in various business communities. American Society for Quality is one of them. The reason I mentioned it is because this organization helps us stay updated for quality management standards. Most of the quality management standards that we follow and you follow and you comply is actually, they are pretty universal. So it is important for us to be in and around quality management communities. That's why American Society for Quality, ASQ in short, is very important for us, and we follow it closely. I need to also mention that we have an internship program called University of Bimser International. We help university students learn about how to do pre-sales and software engineering. Nowadays it's very popular, and we are running it remotely due to COVID-19 situation. It's very difficult to run internships on site at the moment. However, remotely we are right now continuing our internship program for university students, and we teach them how to do pre-sales. Great, so let's talk about our group a little bit. We are based in New York, as I mentioned earlier, as Bimser International, and we also have global presence. As you see on the screen, we are also active in Europe, and we are a group of companies. In total, we are about 200 people. We are backed by European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD in short. With the help of EBRD, European Bank, we have more visibility in international markets, and we have more resources to support our partners and our customers internationally. We are an Acumatica independent software vendor. Also, we are a partner of Microsoft. We are a certified SAP vendor. We are also a MyoB ISV partner. Since we'll be talking about quality management systems today, I also need to mention that we also comply with ISO 9001. We are also a certified company. We have policies and procedures in place to make sure every time we deploy our products, we have certain quality, service, and deployment outcome available based on customer requirements. So that's very helpful for us to have this certification and this system, so that we always follow the standard policies and procedures to make sure we basically increase customer satisfaction and we have continuous improvement in place. In addition, we are ISO 271 certified. That also helps us manage our data and information in a safe and secure environment with certain policies and procedures and protocols in place. Since 1998, we have been developing these 4 products. We have IBA. IBA is our workflow and document management system, followed by Beam. Beam is an asset maintenance, facility, fleet, and energy management software. That is also an Acumatica certified solution. We have QDMS that we'll talk more about today. Is our quality, risk, compliance, and audit management system. That is also an Acumatica certified solution, and that helps companies comply with many different standards in a digital environment. ISO, FDA, GMP, SQF, BRC, IOP, and other standards can be definitely managed and complied with QDMS digitally with no need of paper. And let's remember that QDMS is Acumatica certified, and it's interacting with Acumatica for any transaction, any test that you like it to be. And finally, we have Ensemble as our business process modeling, performance management, and balanced scorecard management. In the bottom, you'll also see an IBA contract management solution. That's also an Acumatica certified solution. IBA Contract Manager helps companies manage their contracts in a digital environment with no need of paper. So that's a great way to have paperless work environment. In a sense, our products are designed to run standalone. Ensemble is a managerial tool with business process modeling, strategy management, and performance management capabilities. EBA is a workflow and records management system. BIM is an asset maintenance, fleet, facility, and energy management software. QDMS is a quality, risk, audit, and compliance management software. They are designed to run and automate business processes. Our products work standalone. They can be integrated with each other, and based on the process and project that we are working on, they integrate with any other software available at customer's location. That may be an ERP system, CRM system, or any other application available. Our products work on cloud, they work on-premise servers, and we have up-to-date technology available. And we keep investing in our products to make sure we have the latest cutting-edge technology available, best in class. On this slide, you can see how many projects we have delivered by the end of last year, since 1998. When you look at QDMS, we'll talk more about QDMS today. We have more than 1,000 customers, corporate customers, and we have more than 1 million professional users available. When you look at BIM, our asset maintenance, fleet, energy, and facility management software, right now there are more than 15 million assets being managed by our customers. When you look at EBA, our electronic business automation platform with workflow and records management capabilities, right now there are more than 500 corporate customers they are using EBA, and also there are more than 50,000 business processes automated and running on EBA at the moment. In terms of number of users, professional users that we have, there are more than 1.5 million professional users using EBA at the moment. These numbers are great numbers that we are proud of, and these are increasing numbers. And we are very passionate about what we do is to help companies adopt digital transformation. While we are learning from them, we are also helping companies adopt digital transformation, which is our passion. We have a lot of great companies as our references. I just pick and choose some of them. We work with 3M, we work with Ford, we work with Bridgestone, Renault-Nissan Alliance, we work with Polaris, we work with also AXA, AstraZeneca, Unilever, United Nations, Starbucks is one of our customers, for example. So we have a lot of experience in digital transformation and helping companies adopt quality management systems in a digital environment. And we are learning, as I mentioned, every day. That's our passion. Since we'll be talking a lot about medical device, pharma, and also healthcare industry, I also like to share some of our references available in those industries, since we have been very active helping organizations in healthcare, medical device, as well as healthcare to comply with many different standards. So let's talk about digital transformation of quality management a little bit. First of all, digital transformation of quality management is adapting an organization's strategy and structure to capture opportunities enabled by technology for continuous improvement and for increasing customer satisfaction. That is a definition that we got from Harvard Business Review in August 2019 issue. And that's actually one of our favorites because it's just a great definition in one sentence and very simple and very to the point. And there are also based on this definition, of course, there are benefits of digital transformation. By adopting digital transformation, one can be more competitive in the marketplace. Any company basically adopting digital transformation can be more competitive, can reduce cost, can be more productive, can be more efficient, can increase sales, can increase customer satisfaction, as well as you can be compliant easier with the help of digital transformation with less paper and more digital activities. There are different standards in the marketplace, speaking of digital transformation of quality management. So I just list some of them based on the industry and some quality management systems as we know it, available or common in those industries. You may be in aerospace or defense industry, so you may need to be compliant with AS9100, which is very typical. You may be in automotive, you may be in healthcare industry, for example. There are different standards for it. You may be in manufacturing industry. ISO 9001, ISO 14000 are very common in manufacturing industry as quality management systems. In medical device industry, typically the quality management system is ISO 13485. That's basically ISO 9001. designed for medical device industry, and we'll talk more about it today. You may be in pharmaceutical industry or public sector and technology. There are other standards that you may need to follow and comply with. So among these standards, I like to focus on good manufacturing practices, which is very common in pharma, food, healthcare, as well as medical device industry. So good manufacturing practices is shortened and called by its acronym GMP, which is very, very typical. So as for GMP, I like to share some background information. So World Health Organization actually established good manufacturing practices guidelines in detail for companies, actually for countries to take it as an example and adapt it to their regions or countries, basically. So there are different authorities in different countries to manage and to regulate good manufacturing practices, which is very actually universal overall, but there may be some differences locally. So that's why there are different authorities in different countries. In the United States, FDA is the authority to regulate good manufacturing practices. What type of industries actually comply with good manufacturing practices? Manufacturers, processors, and packagers of drugs, medical devices, blood. I would also say food. Very typical industries. Basically, they are required to comply and follow good manufacturing practices in their operations. And there are certain rules of good manufacturing practices. On a high level, I just put them on my slide. Also, I like to remind you that I share my sources in the bottom of the slide. So if you'd like to learn more about good manufacturing practices, I encourage you to visit World Health Organization's website, which is very informative, very educational. Also, as you see on the screen, FDA has a very educational website as well for good manufacturing practices, and I'm sharing the links in the bottom so you can visit and learn more about it. So when you look at my summary, as for main rules or expectations of good manufacturing practices, we need to talk about training first of all, which is very important for companies to train their employees so they can be sure that their team members, employees, actually following policies and procedures in place to make sure they have a hygiene environment for manufacturing. So these hygiene environment facilities must be clean, and high standards must be in place for the facilities cleaning, hygiene, and sanitization purposes. That's very, very important. Also, cross-contamination must be prevented by temperature and humidity control. So companies are required to monitor and manage the temperature and humidity of the environment that they do the manufacturing, they operate, they make the manufacturing. And if there is any customer complaints, that needs to be documented, that needs to be investigated, and that needs to be also analyzed to make sure what needs to be done, what happened, and if there is a need for corrective action. Also, if there is any deviation from SOPs, from standard operating procedures, that must be also investigated, why that happened, how we can be sure that that's never going to happen again, and that needs to be also documented and recorded. All these requirements actually needs to be documented and recorded for later review and analysis, and for inspections and audits. If you are inspected by FDA, for example, that needs to be there. ISO 13485 is the quality management system for medical device industry, and it has many different, of course, requirements and expectations. When we look at them, for instance, the documentation and requirements for the medical device industry, that needs to be, that's very important, that needs to be recorded and documented. The work environment requirements are in place for hygiene purposes, for also training of employees to make sure the hygiene and cleaning actually applied in the work environment, and the production has to have certain policies and procedures in place, protocols in place, that has to be written, and that needs to be also shared with the team members so everyone can follow certain instructions and latest instructions by the team members, which is also very important. All these requirements, good manufacturing practices, ISO 13485, that's not um, easy to comply with sometimes. I mean, we work with many different companies. We talk to different companies. There are challenges in the marketplace. So the challenges that we have been hearing and learning from the market is, for example, documentation. The paperwork is sometimes too much for companies. Another challenge is to collect data for continuous improvement and for collective action. That's also challenging for many companies, especially if they're complying on paper. Also, lack of central repository is also a challenge for most of the companies about corrective actions and distributing reports and so on. And also, it's hard to follow actions and corrective actions sometimes because follow-up is always needed. But if you are complying on paper, Excel sheets, Word files, difficult to follow up and make sure that everything is actually based on the quality management system. Luckily, in digital age, we have a lot of solutions available to help companies maintain their system digitally, quality management system digitally, help them run their audits digitally, and to also have an central repository to manage the documentation, policies, procedures, protocols, SOPs can also be managed digitally in this digital age. So having said that, we have proactive quality management framework that we put together, and this framework is our belief that any company follow and implement this framework can be proactive and can have an easier experience as to comply with any quality management system. So what are they? We have three pillars. The first one is assurance. Assurance refers to your quality management system. ISO 13485, maybe that's what you are complying with, and that's your assurance system. Or maybe you are complying with ISO, for example, or good manufacturing practices. So this assurance piece dictates your quality management system as a whole. And the control piece, the control pillar, is to help you manage your control points. You may want to have control points in your manufacturing, before manufacturing, after manufacturing, during manufacturing, for example. Also, you may want to have control points in your administrative operations. Maybe you may want to have control points in your purchasing operations, perhaps, or in your sales operations, perhaps. So, based on what your quality management dictates, you want to have control points, and you need to also perform them regularly. And finally, we have the predict piece, the last pillar, that is referring to the IoT devices, smart sensors, that is for you to remotely monitor your machinery, equipment, your temperature, and humidity, and so on. That is why we put together our product portfolio to help companies become more proactive, comply with various standards, and manage their activities. So EBA is our electronic business automation platform that has workflow and document management capabilities. We have QDMS. I'll show more information in a minute, and we'll also make a demo of it. It is our quality risk audit and compliance management software. And finally, we have BIM, is our enterprise level asset maintenance, facility fleet, field service, and energy management software. They are all designed to help companies comply with quality management systems digitally. And they are interacting with Acumatica. It is because they are certified Acumatica solutions available in the marketplace. This is QDMS's page in Acumatica marketplace. This is the page of BIM, our asset and maintenance management system. And this is the official page of BIM in Acumatica marketplace available. And both systems, QDMS is for quality management. I'd like to remind you that facility management is very important for good manufacturing practices. That's one of the requirements. That's why I actually share information about BIM with you right now. So both systems, QDMS and BIM, they have modern technologies, just like Acumatica. They have APIs available. So easily, both systems are ready to integrate with any IoT devices, manufacturing execution systems, CRMs, as well as ERP systems. In this case, Acumatica ERP system is already integrated with QDMS and BIM. That makes it easy to pull and push data for quality and maintenance management purposes. When we look at QDMS, QDMS has more than 1,000 corporate customers and more than 1 million professional users available, and that's designed to help companies comply with quality management systems digitally in a paperless work environment, which is very important. On QDMS, you can comply with more than one quality management systems easily. It is a web-based system, meaning once we make it ready for you to use, you can access QDMS from anywhere via web browser, just like Acumatica. So that's also very practical. And also the system is permission-based and role-based, so every single user's activities are designed and permitted by the admin management of the company. And once we train the quality management team properly, any quality management team can manage QDMS pretty easily because it's a pretty user-friendly environment. We'll show you in a minute. And also it's very easy to operate. QDMS is modular, meaning customers can pick and choose what module they like. We are not trying to offer everything. We have more than 30 modules. Depends on the quality management systems. That's important for the company. Customer can pick and choose what module they like, and there is no minimum, by the way. You can start with 1 module, 2 modules, 3 modules, and you can add more later on if you like. And each module is linked to each other, and they are also integrated with Acumatica to make sure you have an integrated management system in a digital environment. And there are different use cases that I can share with you. QDMS is actually very user-friendly and very helpful for quality management departments at any company. We have customers with thousands of employees, many different locations. We have customers with 50 employees, 30 employees. So QDMS can help companies in different fields, whether in enterprise markets, whether in mid-market. It is very user-friendly, and we call QDMS as the best friend of quality managers. Because QDMS makes quality managers' job easy as to comply with quality management standards and regulations. So one of the examples that I like to share with you is about one of our customers in healthcare and pharma industry. They have more than 500 employees and multiple locations, and they comply with ISO, good manufacturing practices, as well as FDA's requirements and guidelines. The challenge of our customer was the difficulty to manage policies and procedures. It was difficult for team members to access the latest version of the policy and procedure. Also, taking corrective actions was very challenging for them because their data was A, unstructured, B, it was on spreadsheets, Word files, and a mix of paper-based documentation, basically. So they were having hard time. Thanks to QDMS, they digitized all their paper-based records in QDMS, and they started to have remote access to QDMS, no matter where they are. Especially nowadays, we are experiencing COVID-19 crisis. Remote access to quality management system is more important than before. Now they have that capability, and they enjoy the benefits of QDMS by accessing the system remotely. Also, they started to have easier audit experience, which leads to easier corrective action and increase in productivity. Another customer of ours in medical device industry, they have 70+ employees with one location. They have a lot of compliance requirements because they do medical device exportation. They comply with ISO 13485, good manufacturing practices. They comply with FDA. Since they export to Europe, they also need to comply with EU MDR. They also need to comply with MDSAP for MDSAP requiring countries to be able to export there. They also comply with SOR. It's a Canadian requirement for medical device manufacturers. So there are a lot of requirements going on. And their challenge was they were completely on paper, literally on paper. So managing policies and procedures on paper, customer complaints on paper, corrective actions on paper, and eventually it became unmanageable for them after years of use. Not only it was difficult for them to record activities, it was also difficult for them to retrieve documentation and records for later use and for inspections and audits. Also, they have hard time taking corrective actions because they have hard time putting together the base put together the evidence for them to have evidence-based decision, basically. So that was very challenging for them. Thanks to QDMS, they completely overhauled their quality management system. They updated all their policies and procedures, and they put it in QDMS, and they made it available for their team members. And because of QDMS, they started to take corrective actions, because now they have all the evidence in place for decision making based on the evidence principle of ISO. And they increase their productivity, and they started to have easy audit and inspection experience. So until now, I talk about Bimser International. I introduce our company, introducing our team members and our panel. I also talk about how our product range can help companies adopt digital transformation, especially in the scope of quality management. I also talk about digital transformation of quality management for companies. On a high level, we talk about also good manufacturing practices, ISO 13485. I also share the information about QDMS, our quality, risk, audit, and compliance management system on a high level. So now I like to make a demonstration for you. And what we have developed recently is right now we can run QDMS, our quality management system, in the screens of Acumatica. And that's pretty user-friendly. Both systems are already integrated with each other. Now with the look and the feel, they are totally together. That's actually how it looks, and we are very happy for this development, and we are happy to also be able to show it to you in a minute. We'll be talking about control document management module, how you can manage your policies, procedures, quality protocols, SOPs, also SSOPs, sanitization standard operating procedures. In the digital environment, we'll talk about corrective actions for continuous improvement. We'll talk about risk assessment, and also we'll talk about management review. Management commitment is very important for quality management, and we have also tools for quality management as well as high management teams to manage their quality management system in a digital environment. We'll show you that. We'll also show you audit management module and quality control management module in a digital environment, how you can manage those activities. So I'd like to invite you to my colleague. I'd like to invite my colleague to the virtual stage for him to perform a QDMS Acumatica demonstration session. Sam will be introducing you QDMS and how you can manage your quality management system in a digital environment in QDMS while interacting with Acumatica. Sam, you ready? Please take over the screen when you're ready. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the presentation. And thank you for joining today's webinar. And this is Sam at Bimser International. So after you log into Acumatica, so you can find our products working on the same screen on Acumatica, since our products are certified by Acumatica. And right here, you can find QDMS, our quality, risk, audit, and compliance management system, working on the Acumatica page. We integrate the fields in Acumatica like the employee, the stock item, customer, and vendor with QDMS. After you log into QDMS, this is the home page. You can find all your pending tasks and requests for approval right after you log in, and make sure you will not miss any important task within our system. You can get a quick connection, for example, like approving a document, and get a quick connection to it. And now, since I'm logging in as the administrator, so I have the full control of the system. And QDMS is a permission-based system, which means not everyone can see everything in QDMS. You will have the permission based on your role, position, profession, department, or group. And in this control document management module, you can upload or start your revision process for your document. You can also manage the folder and read the document that you upload in the system. How you can read your document, for example, like your procedure, specification, SOP, and so on in QDMS. In this module, on your left, you can find the nice structure of your folder, and you do not need any other solution or application to read your document. Instead, your document will be shown in the built-in browser of QDMS, as QDMS supports different file formats. For example, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, video, audio, or image. So the content of your document will be shown in the built-in browser, and you can find the information, for example, your document, the revision history, and with the permission, you can always get back to the previous version of your document. You can also find the permission matrix here and see what kind of permission like reading, printing, revising, getting back to the previous version, or deleting the document that has been granted to the users or groups. You can find the distribution list, which means who has the obligation to read the document once it is uploaded or updated. You can also find the approval flow here for your document while they are uploading or revising. If there is any question that you want to ask or about this document, you can always find out who is the approver and connect to this approver. At last, all the activities will be recorded in a log of QDMS, so you can see who did what on what day in the system. And you can also use this as the audit trail for managing your control documents in QDMS. Also, in order to comply with different standards for your company in pharma industry or medical device industry or healthcare industry, you can also manage your non-conformity and corrective action in QDMS. You can find all the corrective action records in this corrective action module, as known as CAPA module, and they are in different status. It's depending on the progress that you handle this particular record. They will be they are now in open, follow-up, planned, or result. And I want to pull up one of our examples in this corrective action module and show you what you can do in with the help of this corrective action module. In QDMS, you can enter your non-conformity and the detail of your non-conformity. After that, you can assign the solution team to take care of this non-conformity, and this team has to file the first progress report and also do the root cause analysis. After that, regarding the root cause, then you can carry out certain corrective action or preventive action in order to deal with the root cause. If there is no other follow-up action is needed, you can close this corrective action. Or let's say you want to have a follow-up action and make sure the non-conformity will not happen again in your company for 3 months, so that you can define the follow-up action right here in this module. And in every single module in QDMS, there's a reporting tool which allows you to create the ready-made report. For example, like corrective action report or draw your graphical report. You will have a page like what you want to see in your report. Like you want to see which customer that without the most corrective action. Or we can pick and choose which department is responsible for the corrective action that we record in our system, so that we can draw our graph and set up the time frame, and the data will be showed in a bar chart and also in a table. You can always export your report into Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF for sharing with any responsible party. And in QDMS, you can also use the risk assessment module, which allows you to assess the risk that will be happened or it might be happen in your company. So you can create your risk assessment planning and then add the item in this planning. Considering the planning is like the goal that you want to achieve. In this example, that will be the health and safety risk assessment. And to the item in this module, that will be the objectives that help you to achieve your goal. So right here, we have different items as the risk assessment for different departments, like for production department, shipping department, and packaging department. The color of the light on the left is telling you how likely this risk will happen and also the impact to your company. If they're in green, which means it's not likely to happen in your company and the impact is minor. And to yellow, you have to be cautious with this particular risk. And while you're creating your risk assessment item, you can enter the description and also the source of the risk and also the impact to the result of this risk. You can also define the impact and the likelihood of this risk in this module. Similar to the one that I've just shown, you can always use the reporting tool to create your ready-made report or generate the graphical report in this module. And in QDMS, in order to help the higher management to have an overview of the performance of different users in different modules, we have a module named as Management Review, which allows you to see what task has passed its due date. Then we can target or we can pick and choose the module that we want to see and create a report here. So you will see how many days the task has passed its due date. So for example, like Sam, there's a task is past its due date for 30 days. So that you will have an idea and contact Sam and see if there is any problem or difficulties happen to Sam and have your follow-up and make sure all users are following the policy that we set up in your company and follow the step in QDMS. So now QDMS showed you all the tasks is past its due date. Also, in this module, you can find what is planned and waiting for users is pending for the users to perform. You can also find the table report and pick and choose the department or user. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see what this user, my account, has what kind of assignment that is assigned to this user. So those will be shown in a calendar view, and once they are turned into red, which means they is past its due date, and it is green, which means they have performed it on time. So by using this timetable report, you will have a better understanding the performance of different users or departments. And as Kevin mentioned, mobile application is also available for QDMS. You can download QDMS Mobile for your Android or iOS device and use QDMS on your tablet or smartphone. You can find the pending task or request for approval right after you log into QDMS on your handheld device and see the same main menu that you can see on your web browser. For example, like the document management module, corrective action module, and also the risk assessment module, and so on your mobile application. It allows you to manage or to use QDMS anytime and anywhere with the internet connection. In addition, we have our quality control form that is available on our portal. So right here, I want to show you is the quality control form that we digitize on our platform. And you can find also all the requests that is waiting for your approval. And right here, you can see the quality control form that we digitize and integrate with Acumatica. For example, this is one of our quality control form, which you will see. This form will retrieve the information, your login information automatically, like the name as administrator, which is the account that I'm logging in as, and also the date that I create this, or I start filling this form. And you can pick and choose the purchase order, which is coming from Acumatica. You can see the whole list of the PO that is available in Acumatica, and the system will fill the rest of the information like the vendor name, promise on date, a location, and so on automatically after you choose the PO in this list. And the item in this PO will also pull into this table as well. If there is any expiration date that is involved for your item in this PO, you can set up a notification or reminder features in this digitized quality control form. After that, we can send this to our unique workflow for this particular process. And you can always update this workflow anytime if needed. In this example, it will be sent to the purchase manager, and then it will be sent to the lab for an inspection. So after finishing the flow, all your business digitized business process will be saved in an archive on our platform. And anytime you can retrieve the data or information that you finish or that you have entered in this digitized business process. So this is one of the PO that we managed previously, and I can always get back or retrieve the inspection result for this PO. You can set up the reference range for the inspection, and if it is out of range, the system will highlight the result in red, and if there's within the range, nothing will be highlighted. And since we have more than one result which is out of the range, and the system will mark the status of this inspection as failed, and you can always use the corrective action button, and the system will create a new corrective action record automatically in QDMS with the PO number, the vendor name, and also the non-conformity will be the QC fail. It's helped you to make sure all your material that you receive will surpass its inspection and meet the requirements for the production. It's come to the end of my demonstration. Thank you for joining this webinar.